This is Mumbo Jumbo's favorite piston door. And I can totally get why. I mean, this thing is sweet. I mean, just look at it. Just look at it. It's super fast. And the coolest part of it is that this thing is ridiculously compact. The perimeter of the redstone is literally flush with the pistons. It's literally flush on all sides, even the bottom. I mean, it doesn't get any better than this, doesn't it? Wrong! This thing is trash! Okay, Mumbo fans, I'm sorry, let me explain. You see, the thing is that Mumbo Jumbo always says himself in his videos, I quote, that if he can't sprint through your piston doors like this without being stopped by the piston door, not for even a second, well, you can't be friends with him. Which is a bit of a problem. Let me explain. So here I have Mumbo's vault door set up with trapdoors with a piston that's gonna push those blocks up pretty much instantly, opening the door. And I've been really generous here. I put the pressure plates a good 2 blocks in front of the door. And well, if you actually try to sprint through it, that's what happens. Which means that if you put this door with pressure plates inside of your base, Mumbo can't be friends with you. And I don't know about you, but given the opportunity, I'd want to be friends with Mumbo. But I also want a vault door with pressure plates inside my base. Which only leaves me with one option. Figuring out a way of making this thing faster without making it bigger. Yep, I've said it, without making it bigger. Being super compact is the whole point of this door. It is why it is Mumbo's favorite door, and it is also why it's super cool. So I'm not doing myself any favors here if I make the redstone bigger. And this is gonna be quite a challenge because Mumbo spent hours and hours perfecting and refining that design to be as best as it can be. And you guys know it, Mumbo is a pretty smart guy. But this all doesn't matter because I'm smarter than him. Okay, in all seriousness though, in order to work on the door, we must first understand a little bit how it works. Okay, so first up, here I have an identical copy of this door right here. It just has a little bit different design, but the redstone is identical. And this is the one we're going to be editing. This is the one we're going to be improving, and we're going to keep the original door at its side to compare it at the end. Anyways, with that aside, the core mechanic of a 4x4 piston door like this one is the double piston extenders right here that push and retract the 4 blocks that are in the middle of the door right here. And the way that these work in this door is extremely clever. Okay, so here I have an isolated model so you guys can see a little bit better how it works. So you can see if I activate the lever, it extends, and if I deactivate the lever, well, it pushes back. Now this thing might seem a little strange at first, but that's because it relies almost exclusively on quasi-connectivity to run. Honestly, this thing is just genius. Shout out to Mumbo for coming up with this. And it's so awesome in fact that it's perfect for that door. In fact, that part I'm not even gonna modify it because it's perfect. It can't get any better. Instead, what we're gonna be focusing on is the bottom section of the door. You can see when I open the door, it's always a section that's lagging behind. Always, it's always lagging behind. And in fact, that's the part we hit on when we try to sprint to the door with the pressure plates. So in theory, we just need to fix that and we're good. But first up, you might have noticed, there's no redstone wires anywhere to be seen. Like, the door is flush with the pistons. So how does the bottom section get its signal to close or open? Because to make the bottom section faster, all we need to do is find a quicker way to transmit the signal from the top to the bottom section without increasing the size of the redstone, of course. So the way that the signal is transmitted to the bottom section to close or open is by this observer right here. You see, the observer detects when the piston gets out of the way and when it goes back in. And as you can see, when we close the door, the piston goes out of the way, so the observer detects that. And when we open the door, well, the piston goes back into place and the observer detects that, which sends a pulse to the pistons. And each time, well, they have a 1-tick pulse, so they spit out their blocks and they grab it to open the door. Okay, so here I have it on my little separate example right here. So as you can see, when we're gonna close the door, that piston is gonna get out of the way immediately as soon as this piston is gonna push those blocks right here. So that the observer detects it really fast, which sends a signal really fast to it. So when the door closes, it happens pretty much at the same time. But the problem is with the opening of the door, which conveniently, that's what we need to be fast. But you can see from our little setup here that this piston has to power off, and then this piston has to go grab the slime blocks and retract it before that observer right here gets a pulse, which is a delay of 3 ticks. And you can see it just how slow it is, the lag behind it when I open the door. So we need another way. Now you might have noticed those 2 other pistons right here on the side of the door. And you might have wondered, what are these for? Well, let's see what happens when I open the door if I remove them. You can see right here, the blocks get pulled back 2 blocks. Because yes, those blocks also get pulled in by the slime blocks. So the function of the pistons that were right here is to push back those blocks right here when the door opens. You see right here, the blocks get pulled back and then these pistons push back those blocks. So this could be another good way of actuating the bottom section. Well, unfortunately for us, not so much, because these pistons actually come with a greater delay than the middle piston right here. Because as you can see right here, we got 3 ticks and we have 2 ticks from the observers. And not only that, but by definition, it's meant to actuate after that piston right here has retracted back. So here it is on the model to help you visualize it a little bit better. So here you have pieces of the door right here, and you have these blocks right here. So as you can see, when I close the door, those blocks right here stick to the slime blocks and you get pushed by 1 block. But when I open the door, the thing is that the slime blocks drag those blocks 2 blocks in. So what happens is that they don't lay flat with that piece here. So in order to lay flat, these pistons must push them after the slime blocks drag them 2 blocks. Because you see, if we do it before by changing the delay right here, it just completely blocks the door. So again, we're gonna need to find another solution. So I was roaming around the door trying to find other places, to transmit the signal to the bottom, until I realized that the slime blocks right here move instantly as soon as we power off the redstone line above. So to help you visualize again, this piston right here at the bottom is QC'd with that piece of redstone right here. So as soon as that redstone unpowers, which is immediately when I turn off the lever, well, that piston here retracts, which in turn retracts those slime blocks almost immediately. So what if we came and just did this right here? We finally got something promising here, but let's not get excited too fast. The problem is with that is that the observer moves with the door. When I open or close the door, the observer moves. And how do you connect a moving object to stationary pistons? Through hopes and prayers. And let's not forget, we also have those corner pistons right here that push or retract the blocks in the corner to connect. So you can see that right here in my setup, if I have 1 block right here You can see it updates when the door closes, but when the door opens, well, the observer gets retracted too fast to be able to send the update through the wire. And yeah, that doesn't work. But luckily, by adding a second block right here, it works. And you can see it's much faster. It retracts at the exact same time that this one retracts the second time. This is amazing. This is just freaking amazing. You have no idea how much time I spent on this. So let's finally put this on our door and pray that it works. Okay, so step 1, destruction. So let's remove this right here. And you can see where we're gonna connect. We don't need these anymore. Where we're gonna connect ourselves is right here. So we're gonna put the observers right here. We're gonna keep the block here. We're gonna add one right here. Here we go. We're gonna do it on each side. And then we're gonna add our redstone dust right here. To act as here. There we go. And also, we need to connect these guys right here. Now, the way that we're gonna have to do that is a little bit tricky. We're gonna have to go with these blocks right here, and we're gonna have to replace with slabs like this. There's 4 of them. And then we're gonna have to make our redstone line go up like this. Right here. And into our pistons. Just like this. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side. Same way. Like this. But you can see right now it doesn't connect anymore. It's not gonna power those pistons anymore. So we need target blocks right here to connect it. And here we go. I'm gonna do the same thing on the other side, and we're gonna be good to go. Alright, now that it's all done, moment of truth. 3, 2, 1. Oh my gosh! Oh my... Did you see how fast that was? Oh my gosh! Like, look at Mumbo's original door! Like, this thing is crawling. It's super slow in comparison. Like, look at this. Like, it opens in like 4 ticks or something. It's like, chuk chuk. Here's a side-by-side in slow-mo to see exactly how it happens. So you see that the closing is a little bit slower on my door. But just look at the opening. It's so much faster. Oh my gosh. Honestly, I came in this project quite confident, but I never thought that we'd get this far. And a little bit of decor later. Here's the final result. Let's just say that I'm extremely happy with how this has turned out. Now for the moment we've all been waiting for. Hell yeah. And it closes back up really nice behind me. Honestly, this thing is just amazing. Look how fast it is. Look how fast it is. I can just sprint right through it. It's a freaking 4x4 door. Oh my god, it's just awesome. Mumbo, where's my birthday card invitation? Anyways, big shout out to Mumbo for coming up with the original design of this door. And to honor him, well, I'm deciding to call this the Chunky Mumbo door. Now, I usually give out free world downloads with my builds like these ones, but since this one is strongly based off of a Mumbo Jumbo design, well, I would rather have his authorization before I post anything. So if you want to have a world download, well, try to get his attention in any way that you can by tagging him in the comments in this video, tagging him in the comments of his videos. You know where to reach out him. And with that said, I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you did, well, please leave a like, and if you want to see other videos like this, well, subscribe. And with that said, I'll catch you guys in the next one.